Hey, and welcome back to Mr. Systems. Today I will talk you through what a trunk/a tagged and an access/an untagged interface are. Well, to start off with, I would like to talk about what a tagged and a trunk interface is. Those are used when you have to pass traffic for multiple VLANs through an interface. An untagged or access interface only accepts a single VLAN on an interface. So a tagged and a trunk interface does the same. It uses tagging for certain VLANs and allows more VLANs through an interface. The same goes for untagged and access interfaces. They does the same as well. It allows one VLAN to be used through an interface. Because I have chosen in this video to both mention trunked and tagged, and access and untagged, is because different IT companies and vendors use different terms in how to define these things in their hardware. Then you might ask, where do I use trunk and tagged interfaces and vice versa with the access and untagged interfaces? Well, a connection between switches or other network hardware that needs traffic for multiple VLANs. That's where you use trunk. So it is usually used when you have to need to set up a link with another switch. Both switches needs to have a trunk interface between that link so they can share traffic from multiple VLANs. And if you are using virtual switches, you would do it as well. Also remember, if you have multiple VLANs in your environment, you have to set up a trunk interface from your switch to your router, so the router and the switch can talk multiple VLANs. If you only have one VLAN, you do not have to set up all the trunk thing, but that's a thing to remember as well. Now we come to the untagged or access interfaces. Well, you set these up if you only need to have one VLAN on an interface. That could be day-to-day devices, regular end devices. It can be workstation, laptops, printers, alarms, whatever you can mention, kinda. But I'll show you an example that I have set up on how to use trunk, tagged, access, untagged interfaces here in Packet Tracer. So I think we should jump to that drawing so you might get a better understanding on why to use the different types. So here is the drawing about how you could use it. So I have set up this small topology with two different VLANs, a server VLAN and a sales VLAN. The T stands for trunk or tagged interface. The A/UT stands for access or untagged interface. As I mentioned before, if you have an environment with more VLANs, you would have to configure a trunk interface from your switch to the router so they can talk multiple VLANs. Same goes for switch 1 and switch 2. You would have to set up a trunk here as well so these two can talk more VLANs. But as to your end devices, you do not have to set up trunk because actually many devices can't even get an IP, can't even do their thing. If you actually set up a trunk port on the switch, then you would never actually going to communicate with this thing because it only needs to know about one VLAN. So that's where you will make your access and untagged interface. As you can see, the A/UT here. So that's what you will be making on these. And the same goes for your domain server. It only needs to have an access or untagged port for it to work with the one VLAN that you will define on the port as well. So that's about how you can do it, how you can work this out with trunk and access. And because I'm mentioning trunk and access often more than tagged and untagged, is because Cisco, which I am more keen to use, uses these terms instead of tagged interface or untagged. And that's about it, how you can use trunk interfaces and access interfaces. And I have hoped this has really been informative and helped you. And I hope to see you in my next video as well. Bye.